I'm just gonna hurt you. Really, really bad.
What's up, guys? It's the Farooqi brothers back with another video. And today for you guys, we're going to be talking about the Ayer Cut of Suicide Squad. Now, for those of you guys who've been following us for years, you know that the Snyder Cut was a big thing that we've been campaigning for and helping the movement throughout the last 3 years. So it's only fitting that, since we do stand for artistic integrity for directors getting their due share, that David Ayer should get his chance to release Suicide Squad instead. Let's talk about 2016 Suicide Squad. So I think regardless if you liked it or didn't, personally speaking, I didn't like it that much. The film felt like a Guardians of the Galaxy remix of some kind. Like, obviously, where it looked like clearly whoever was in the editing room of that film was looking at Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a big hit from a year or two prior, and basically said, how can we make this like that? So you saw, obviously, lots of music, lots of different song choices, lots of stuff happening to make it seem like it's this fun, colorful, and pulp movie. When in reality, we all remember in 2015, we saw that Comic-Con trailer, the first trailer for Suicide Squad, and it was a very different picture. We saw it was a very dark film, very psychological. And throughout the last, honestly, 6-7 months, David Ayer has been really going on social media and sharing more tidbits about what exactly a Suicide Squad was like. So, for example, when talking about the music, someone asked him, like, or is there going to be a lot of songs like there were in the original? And he said straight up that, nah, for mine, it was an orchestral score. Like, it was an actual score that was happening that, again, we didn't hear. We maybe heard a little bit of it. We heard some beats of it for different characters, but we missed a whole chunk of it. So I think the main thing when you look at this movie is the first act and the third act. Both these acts were significantly changed, right? Now, it's not like the Snyder Cut where there's not a second director that was brought in and changed it. So, a lot of it is the same, but the way it's presented, the director's vision was not there. And, let's call it what it is. David Ayer himself said, a lot of the lines that a lot of people didn't like, a lot of the stuff that people were most against. For example, Killer Croc saying that, he wants BET in his sewer and Arkham Asylum, that wasn't David Ayer. That was partly Jeff Johns, who did the rewrites of the script, and the editors who were working on it after David Ayer submitted his director's cut. So from there, I want to kind of push it to you guys, like, why do you think it's so important for the Ayer Cut to come out? And I'll start with Zion on that.
Well, it's just like you said. I mean, now that we finally won as a fandom, we worked hard, we campaigned, we got this release of the Snyder Cut to finally come to fruition. And, the fight doesn't end. We still believe in the directors having their vision be shown in artistic integrity. And David Ayer's film was obviously compromised as well. So it's only fitting, it's only right that we now start to fight for Ayer to get his true cut released of the film, or at least the truest cut possible at this point. And like I said, just on a film level, you can see from the marketing, from the trailers, how much the film actually changed, or at least how much it was presented changed, and how colorful and more, I guess, fun it became, inspired by the success of Guardians of the Galaxy. And just to finally be able to see those characters, Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Joker, El Diablo, all these characters who are compromised and changed in some way or another, finally be shown in their right way. I'm sure the actors who worked so hard on it would also love to see it just as much as David Ayer. And as you know, things are obviously in motion in the background. The ball is rolling, and all we have to do is, as fans now, make noise and be 100% behind David Ayer in support of his cut getting released.
And then, we talk about, John mentioned all these characters that were kind of cut out. I think the chief character that got his role taken out, and the actor honestly losing his role as a result of that, was Jared Leto and his Joker. So obviously very controversial Joker from the beginning, from day one. I think even David Ayer's version of Jared Leto's Joker was going to be controversial. But the fact that we didn't even get to see much of him, I think I have to double check this, but I think he only had 10 to 15 minutes of screen time. So, Umar, for you, when it comes to Joker, seeing more of Jared Leto, what does that mean to you?
Well, Jared Leto's Joker, as you said, was there's always, people are always like up and down about it. I think for me, I was excited just because the actor's really good. Like, Jared Leto is he's won Oscars and stuff. So he's like
Oscar.
he's a good actor. You just need to let him do his thing, and I think he did his thing. He said that him, Margot Robbie, when they were doing press for Suicide Squad, one of the things that he kind of kept saying was that my stuff got chopped, basically. And he said, like, they asked him, one interviewer asked him, what do you say to the people that want to see more Joker? And he said, the only thing I can say to them is go talk to the studio because I shot a lot of footage and it all kind of got cut. And then sadly with his Joker, like, the actual stuff that was actually released, like even the stuff they put out there, if they edited it so heavily, like it was so weird, like the shots, like the shot in the Comic-Con trailer where he says, I'm going to hurt you really, really bad. So that shot is actually different from the shot that's in the movie. And the movie shot is worse. Like if anybody that has a brain can look at those two shots and be like, yo, this shot is better than the other shot, okay? And then the trailers show you that they moved away. They sold the fans on the Joker being a part of the film. And then when you go in the film, if you take all his stuff right out, right, the stuff that they released, the theatrical cut, if you take his stuff, you chop it right out of the movie, it does nothing to anything. Like, so they made his actual arc or whatever is meaningless in terms of how they put it, or how they showed it. And you know that, look, if you shot 30, 40 minutes of him, right, and you were going to use maybe 25, maybe David Ayer wanted to use like 25, 20 minutes of his stuff, that there was a story there, and he's already said that there was a story there. So I just think that even for actors, like, actors work really hard. Obviously, Jared Leto, there's different reports about how he went. He's a method actor, so he was kind of locked in throughout the whole process. So someone like that should be able, like, people should give him a fair shake. Even if you don't like the tattoos and you don't like the J or whatever, that's fine. But from an acting standpoint, you want to give the person a shot and see what they have to. It's a hard character to get wrong. So
yeah, I mean, we know that when they announced this thing, it was the idea of a future. You know, we were all thinking, all right, next thing we're going to see is Ben Affleck is going to meet Jared Leto Joker, and these are the kind of stuff that ended up not happening. It's been almost 4 years since that. We're thinking it's kind of fan theories, but the main thing is Jared Leto lost his role. You know, and obviously it doesn't mean that Joaquin Phoenix didn't do a great job. He did. But remember, before Joaquin Phoenix's movie came to fruition, there was a lot of rumors about a Joker solo film or a Joker and Harley film. All that got thrown away after Suicide Squad, mainly because it wasn't received well, right? And it made a lot of money and actually won an Oscar itself for makeup and design. So you know there's something there. There's something there that's worth seeing. Just we didn't see what David Ayer wanted to do. And David Ayer is a very good director. He's written and directed both awesome movies, right, in his past. So it's worth seeing what happens next. But let's shift over to a business standpoint now and talk about HBO Max. And, HBO Max versus Disney Plus versus Netflix, they don't have as much original content yet that Disney Plus came out of the gate with Mandalorian, or Netflix always has original content. But HBO is always looking for more, and more for cheap is always good. So Suicide Squad, you can get a director's cut of that out without spending a lot of money. Even David Ayer said, my cut would be very easy to complete and it'd be a very cathartic experience for me, right? So obviously it's an easy thing. It'll make money. It'll do some good stuff. So Samir, my thing for you is that, do you think if this Ayer Cut's coming out, do you want to see it before the Snyder Cut or after?
It makes sense to release it now before the Justice League because it wouldn't take as much work to release. And also, it's a shame to see how Warner Brothers wants Suicide Squad to be like Guardians of the Galaxy, because you can see now it's a soft reboot of the Suicide Squad. It's, they hired the director that directed Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like, it'd be nice to see a Suicide Squad movie that's not, following the Marvel formula.
Same. I think right there, Samir made the perfect point that in the end, they ended up getting James Gunn to make the next Suicide Squad movie, which says it all. Like, it says where the direction's going. But for what it's worth, from my understanding, James Gunn is somewhat supportive of David Ayer getting his cut out. I think he mentioned once or twice. I'd be wrong there, but I think getting his cut out and making HBO Max's home for David Ayer's Suicide Squad, for Zack Snyder's Justice League, it just makes sense. It just makes sense on a variety of levels. So now let's get into what we're hearing. Let's get into some behind-the-scenes details of what's happening in our ear. the main thing that we're hearing right now is that the ball is rolling, on the Ayer Cut. There's things in motion. This thing has been in motion for a while now, but, to quote, the Dark Knight, the Snyder could change things forever. So now movies, the first domino fell. So
I hate Ross.
Fine, you can hate me. The Snyder Cut took 3 years to come out, right? But David Ayer Suicide Squad might just take 1 year of campaigning, right? 1 year active campaigning instead of 3 years because of how easier, now that one thing is done, precedent has been set, and AT&T is willing to spend the money. So I think it is possible to get it out. We just got to make a lot of noise as a fandom, use our specific platforms to do stuff. So I definitely encourage you guys to get out there, tweet it out, tweet the hashtag, do whatever you got to do. And then all I can say is they're watching. The executives are watching, both in Warner Media, AT&T, and Warner Brothers. So fans make some noise, they'll listen. What do you guys think about the Ayer Cut of Suicide Squad? Why don't you comment below, release the Ayer Cut. Let's get the ball rolling on YouTube. This is the Farooqi Brothers. We'll see you next time. Peace out.